All right, we're gonna get to know Brush Easy or Brush Ninja. Um, so I'm just scrolling up so you can see all the things are at the top, but we don't really need that right now. Um, so basically, here's some of your tools. Normally, you're gonna see the the pencil here. With the pencil, you can change the thickness of your drawing tool. And then this one is so you can change the transparency of your paint. So if I click on this, it'll take you to a thin, thicker, until it's completely opaque. So that's how you can control different types of mark making. And then you can make objects here, and you can see that you have some different shapes that you can build with. In this situation, if I select and make a shape, just be aware that you can do stuff with that shape. If you go here to Tools, you can move it around. So you could actually copy that frame and then move it around. You could, if you go here, you can scale it. So I'm just kind of dragging towards the corner and it scales it, changes the size. So you can adjust size of something. So these are things that can be done to and rotation won't show with this shape, but it would show with like a rectangle or some other star shape. You would be able to see the rotation. So those are ways that you can change the shapes once you create them as part of your animation. And so when you make a frame, you don't have to recreate every frame from scratch. So for instance, if I hit this right here, copy, it copies the same thing, and now I'm on the new frame. And now I'm in this scale, so I can change the size, copy it again, change the size, copy it again, change the size, and so on. So now, if we play it, you can see that object shrinking. And it's happening very fast, so you're probably wondering how can we control that speed. And I'm going to go up here to my settings. On the animation, how many frames per second. So I'm going to have each frame for 5 instead. Then I'm going to change this watermark to something more personal. And then now if you watch this, it's changing slower. And so I changed that quality. So let's look at a couple other controls that you see here. You can see that I have 5 frames now. And if I want to get my GIF out of this program, I'm going to hit export. And you can do animated GIF, save as an image. It kind of puts them into like a sequential comic book format, which I don't know how useful that is. But this animated GIF choice, you hit export. It's making it right now. And then you can hit this and it will download and save your GIF. So a couple other things. If you look at this one here, each of these has this at top. It tells you how many times it's going to play that frame. So if you want something to pause on a frame before it starts, like for instance at the original size, I could hit plus like 5 of those, and it's going to stay at that size for 5 frames, and then you'll see the changes that happen. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play on that. So you can see it stays and then it shrinks. So that kind of gives you a little bit more control of your pacing. So other controls that we might want to look at. This is called onion skinning. So this is for onion skinning before. And what it does is as I move through my frames, you can see like when I make a new frame, it's going to show you what you had before. So you can sort of get a feel for how much change you're making. So you can see here the change that took place over the last 3 frames. And it didn't go all the way back to the first one. It just shows the previous 2 frames there. So when I make a new frame, it's going to show me the previous 2 frames. And then when I decide to make a change, I'll know where it was. Okay, I'm going to delete that one because I didn't copy the previous one. So if I do this, you can see the previous 2, and then now I'm going to make it smaller. And then we can play that through. You'll see that's how it looks so far. So up here under Tools, you have lines, eraser, text, pencil, and those are all the things that you would probably use. Now, one thing about this program is that once you hit New, it will ask you, are you sure you want to delete this animation? And it will start a new one. So if you export what you did, then you would have a GIF of what you have done so far, and then you can then start a new one. And it doesn't save it, so there's no saving of things here. You can just export them. Well, that's a form of saving, but you can't save them and keep working on them. So that's just something to keep in mind. This is kind of a spontaneous tool, and if you want to create like a couple different scenes in a row, you can create one, export it, hit New, make the next scene. So, and for adding audio to these animations, what I would do is once I've exported, if you drag that animation into your, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to drag this animation into my tabs, and you can see my animation here. The way that I would capture that so I can add sound would be I would open up QuickTime. I would do a screen recording where I select just this area where the action's happening, and then I would record that, and then I would have something that I could bring into a video editor and add sound to. So this animation itself isn't too exciting for adding sound, but if you create something that's a little bit more dynamic and lively, then we could add sound to it, and it would work well. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. I just wanted to give you a tour of Brush Ninja. They also have a beta version that has some more features that I like, and so I may show that as well. It said, be careful, there might be some glitches, but I don't really see any issues with it when I've used it.